GS score.
GS score, GS score,
GS score,
GS score,
GS score.
GS score, GS score,
GS score,
GS score,
GS score है, GS score,
GS score,
GS score,
GS score,
GS score,
GS score.
GS score.
Hello friends, welcome to GS Core, and today I have with me Rishabh Choudhary, All India rank 28, and Manoj K, Jha Sir. So Rishabh, congratulations first and foremost. Third attempt में you have been in the list now. So tell me, कैसा लग रहा है अभी?
Thank you, sir, for your warm wishes. And just seeing my name in the result is a surreal feeling in itself.
Right.
So there is a sense of gratitude in me that everybody in the exam sincerely prepare, and some are fortunate enough to see their name in the list, and I'm one of them. So I've done my hard work, but there is a sense of destiny, I would say, which landed me where I am.
Right. मनोज सर, congrats to you also. और एक स्टूडेंट आपका लिस्ट में आ गया.
हाँ, ऋषभ से मेरी फ़ोन पे काफ़ी बात हुई है, ऋषभ ने बताया. तो ऋषभ, पूरी अगर इंटायर प्रिपरेशन को देखें, नाउ सिंस यू आर इन द लिस्ट इन द थर्ड अटेम्प्ट, एंड एज वी वर डिस्कसिंग, एंड इन द फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट यू कुड नॉट क्वालिफाई प्रीलिम्स, और प्रीलिम्स में मार्क्स 32 थे. फाइन. फ्रॉम देयर getting 32 in the prelims to 28 rank, now you can understand what kind of transformation happens and possible. जो स्टूडेंट के लिए भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि किसी को अगर 30-35 मार्क्स आए तो उसका कॉन्फिडेंस ही सेटल्ड हो जाता है. बट देन यू मेड इट. इन क्रक्स, व्हाट इज़ योर लर्निंग अबाउट द इंटायर जर्नी कि 3 साल में हम ये कह सकते हैं कि दिस इज़ व्हाट सिविल सर्विसेज इज़ ऑल अबाउट.
Sir, firstly, the fact that in first attempt I scored so low was because of the fact that I haven't prepared for the examination, and I appeared for the examination to test where do I stand as far as my peers are concerned in the exam. So because of that, I had scored so low marks, and that was not a confidence shattering for me, just because I was not expecting myself to be very well in prelims, because I have not done the groundwork or done the studies for the exam. Now, after this long journey of UPSC, fortunately, it was not long enough for me. As you are discussing what examination test, so I would say कि sir, UPSC is test of multiple things, but primarily it is the test of human spirit. It tests your perseverance to deal with thicks and thins in the exam. It tests your discipline. Because means examination requires you to be disciplined. You have to continuously write for 6 hours back to back, and on 2 days, on 2 occasions. So it tests your discipline, it tests your perseverance, and it tests your economy to use resources very, very efficiently, and use your time very effectively in order to maximize your gains from whatever efforts you are making in the exam. So it is a comprehensive test, I believe.
So wonderful. Viraj, he has used a wonderful thing, economy. Economy does not mean that the Indian economy that you read. In any case, you can say the UPSC tests. लेकिन जो ये बात कर रहे हैं, that is minimum input, maximum output. और हम लोग भी कई बात करते हैं. Please, so if you could continue
Sir,
with that.
the thing is that now Rishabh was already working in a multinational. So first to Rishabh and then to you. Rishabh, what motivated you to move towards UPSC? And sir, then to you कि ऐसा क्या है with respect to the job that UPSC offers कि high paying jobs individuals also are fascinated by UPSC. First you.
Sir, coming to why I opted to appear for the exam was that while I was working in a multinational bank, I was working in Deutsche Bank. So there I was fortunate to be part of a team where people from different countries are working together to develop a same product and promote the same product. So that developed a sense of cross-cultural collaboration.
Right.
And while working, I was also reading the memoirs of certain diplomats, certain books. I also read the memoirs of IPS officers, IAS officers. So, but after reading in book by former diplomat T.P. Srinivasan Sir, Adventures in Diplomacy, that captivated my heart like nothing in foreign service.
Right.
And at that point of time, I was thinking that what should be my long-term career? Where is my heart? So, foreign service was the natural inclination, and At that time, I thought that it is prudent because of the fact that the examination, it is a brief window of opportunity where you can appear for the examination. I thought that I had to prepare for wholeheartedly for this examination to pursue my dream. So for that, I left my job in September 2022, and since then I've been preparing for civil service examinations. So I appeared in 2023 and then 2024.
Right. Sir, if you could answer that question.
See, I was talking to Rishabh. He was in a multinational bank. एक multinational bank में है. Obviously मैंने salary नहीं पूछा लेकिन अच्छी ही होगी ऋषभ की. तो he is from NIT भोपाल और ऋषभ की salary अच्छी ही होगी. So what happens that sometimes you think that you are looking for something more than the job. Fine. This is you can say a service. तो ये आपको काफ़ी अपॉर्चुनिटी देती है that you can explore yourself, your potential also you can harness much more. For example, he opted for IFS. इन्होंने IFS opted किया है. अब IFS opt करने के बाद obviously he will represent the country wherever he goes. अब कहाँ जाएंगे वो तो टाइम के साथ ही होगा, लेकिन ये एक बहुत बड़ी अपॉर्चुनिटी होती है उसमें से. बट माई क्वेश्चन अगेन टू यू दिस व्हाई यू ऑप्टेड फॉर IFS नॉट IAS as a first choice?
So I think both the services are excellent services, and the opportunity which IFS provides are not comparable to any other service, and the opportunity which IAS provide are not comparable with any other service. My reason for opting for the IFS is that I had inclination initially for political science and international relations, which I opted as an optional as well. So I was very interested in international relations, what was happening around, and with preparation, I've also developed a sense of purpose. That in diplomacy we can use what is available in the world, in the global environment, to facilitate India's development. So I think being in Indian Foreign Service, I think it would provide me an opportunity to bring the best which the world has to offer, be it in technology, be it trade, be it in terms of talent from the world, people of Indian origin who are seeking opportunities, or other things like that. So Indian Foreign Service provides you a platform where you can look across the world, that what is the best thing which the world has to offer and how I can bring that back to India. So that thing kept me motivating for the job. That in foreign service, I would of course the role of an IAS officer is excellent, and but for me, my primary aspiration was for foreign service, because I thought that this is the career which I want to do for the rest of my life. This is my dream career.
Right. So Rishabh, after your first attempt, now आपने block by block preparation build कैसे किया? How did you plan it out?
Sir, after I started sincerely preparing after I left my job, and initially my focus was to cover every basic static sources. So I've done the basic books, and also I've collated synopsis for vision where I was enrolled, and that primarily become my basic source for preliminary examination. Before the preliminary examination in 2023, so from January 2023 till the end of preliminary examination, my sole focus was on to clear the preliminary examination.
Right.
So for that, I basically done the multiple revisions for basic books, and I've solved more than 100 mock tests at that time, because I wanted to have that sense of familiarity with different types of questions, different type of papers, so that I don't get surprised in the actual examination. I've developed my strategy how I'm going to tackle the paper by solving repeatedly full length tests.
Right.
And after the prelims, my focus was in mains preparation. My focus was to divide the total time available based on the total marks it deserves. So if there are 1750 marks and 7 papers of 250 marks each, so I would divide the total number of days by that, and I would calculate what is the time which every paper should deserve based on the marks available. And then it is not hard and fast, so there is a sense of flexibility when I believe that some efforts which could be preserved here could be used to better prepare for other subjects. But it was primarily based on this fact that I had divided the syllabus based divided the paper not based on the syllabus which carries, but based on the marks which it carries.
Right.
And the strategy in means was to develop topic wise notes. I had that framework before, but I primarily developed them during the preparation between prelims and mains. So I have created a framework for topic wise notes based on the syllabus in the mains, and I've there was a continuous feedback and continuous improvement loop. So when I was giving in test, I would look at the solution, I would add important things back to my notes, and I would revise them before giving another mock, so that what I learned in the last test I could inculcate in the next test. And this repeated continuous improvement loop, I think helped me repeatedly improve my marks, because and when I first written the full length test, I was not able to complete even 13 or 14 questions. And since then I tried to improve. First I tried to complete the paper on time, and then I tried to improve the content over time. So this is how
Okay. And tell me, being from science background and then taking up political science as an optional, okay, so how did you adjust yourself with respect to writing?
So that was the most challenging part, because political science, reading political science was so fascinating that I was captivated by it. But when I used to look at the copies, that how the toppers are writing the answers, it was a challenging part for me, because I was not familiar with this form of writing. So primarily I referred to the toppers copies, Utkarsh Dwivedi sir and Swati Sharma ma'am. So I referred to their copies, and I tried to learn how they're writing the answers. I referred their copies more than 10 times to basically understand what is the process of writing, how they are thinking, and understand the little nuances in their writing, which we cannot understand by single reading of the copy. So I've referred to limited topper copies and referred to them multiple times, so that I can observe the little nuances in their writing and inculcate them in my answer writing. So primarily I learned the answer writing from referring to topper copies.
Other thing is, you were simultaneously preparing for forest service also. So वहाँ पे आपके ऑप्शनल्स अलग थे, यहाँ पे PSIR था. So tell me, जैसे पहले क्वेश्चन के आंसर में you used this term discipline, तो कैसे बिल्ड किया उसे? What is the process of building discipline? Sir, I will come to you also on this, especially with respect to time management. So please.
Sir, I think that when we start to take new initiative, there is an initial inertia associated.
Right.
But once you push yourself through that initial inertia, there is a sense of momentum which you carries on for the rest of your preparation. So I made sure that when I started wholeheartedly to prepare for the exam, I developed that sense of discipline from the beginning itself, so that I developed the momentum to carry forward that in the exam. So I had structured my day, not what to read, but when I would wake up, when I would sleep, and in different slots before lunch, before evening, before dinner, and things like that. And I used to plan for the next examination, because I was continuously in the loop. After 2023 civils, I appeared for forest. Fortunately, I qualified for that, and I appeared for the means of forest as well. And after that, I appeared for forest interview, and then again for prelims 2024 and means 2024. So my focus was always on the next exam. So what I used to do is that I used to divide the total time which I had before the exam and plan for that time, and I then used to bifurcate that in various sections, and then develop a monthly target, and then develop a weekly target, and that boils down to what I have to cover daily. And on daily basis, I used to plan for that, and it is not like hard and fast plan, but there was a sense of flexibility, and I used to take some days out to clear the backlog which I might have carried on for a while. So broadly, this was the way I planned for the days, and I tried to stick as much as possible to the plan.
What were your optionals in forest service?
So they were forestry and geology.
Okay, sir. Students जो है हमेशा complain करते हैं time management. We have someone जिसने probably 2 most difficult means in India he has cleared. So sir, what is the difference?
See, और ऋषभ का रूटीन मुझे नहीं पता, लेकिन उन्होंने बताया काफ़ी डिसिप्लिन रहे हैं, और इस डिसिप्लिन से एक ही चीज़ पता चलती है कि देयर इज़ नथिंग कॉल्ड टाइम मैनेजमेंट. देयर इज़ वन एंड ओनली वन थिंग, एंड दैट इज़ माइंड मैनेजमेंट. If you can manage your mind, you can manage your time. If you cannot manage your mind, you cannot manage your time. But I have a question, ऋषभ. इस बार जो ऋषभ के मार्क्स हैं मेंस के, वो बहुत ही यूनिक है. यूनिक इन द सेंस, जनरली आप टॉपर्स के मार्क्स अगर देखो तो किसी में वो बहुत एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी होता है, किसी में नीचे होता है, फिर इंटरव्यू कंपनसेट कर देता है. एंड ही स्कोर्ड ऑलमोस्ट, यू कैन से, एबव एवरेज इन एवरी पेपर. वो एथिक्स हो, वो ऐसे हो, वो पेपर 3 हो, पेपर 4 हो, और इंक्लूडिंग PSIR एंड ऑल. आई हैव अ क्वेश्चन, ऋषभ. For you, since you have already appeared in mains last year also, what is a good answer?
Sir, according to me, a good answer should be one which first address the demand of the question, specific answering what is asked and what is the directive which is given to you in terms of the keyword which is mentioned.
So you say first thing first is be very, very specific.
What is asked first,
Okay.
understand what is asked, and then
One.
try your best to present that answer, and try to be it depends on different papers, the demand of the paper change. So and content could also change. So for example, in GS answers, GS 1 to 3 answers, we have to write multi-dimensional answer, and we can generate points through various answer writing frameworks, be it various dimensions which we can think of, or think of various levels.
Okay, so second thing is you are saying that dimensions.
Sir,
Okay.
it is for GS paper.
Okay.
GS 4, you have to understand what is being in case studies. I had developed different form of strategy where I basically developed some content which I'm going to use in the cases. I've prepared a list of ethical dilemmas. So and I've solved more than 70 or 80 case studies, perhaps more. So that gave me an idea that these are the list of dilemmas which generally being generally happens. So that helped me when I was writing the when I was just reading the case study. That helped me in understanding very quickly that these are the ethical dilemmas that are going to happen, and that is the thing which is generally asked. I also prepared the list for what are going to be the words which I'm going to use, what are the merits which could be, what are the demerits. It is generally I basically prepared for this content, which helped me in writing the case studies in time.
एक और सवाल है उससे रिलेटेड जो आपने कहा गुड आंसर, आपने ब्रीफली ये कहा कि स्पेसिफिक डायमेंशंस, एक स्पेसिफिक होना चाहिए, डायमेंशंस होने चाहिए और एक सेंस ऑफ कंप्लीशन होनी चाहिए कि फाइन, एंड देन यू हैव टू मेंटेन द स्पीड. अनदर क्वेश्चन रिलेटेड टू इट इज बेसिकली द स्पॉन्टेनिटी, क्योंकि मेंस इज प्रिडिक्टेबल इन द सेंस नेचर ऑफ क्वेश्चन क्या होगा ये नहीं पता, लेकिन टॉपिक के बहुत क्लोज आप रहते हो पूरे मेंस के प्रिपरेशन में, अनलाइक द प्रीलिम्स. Despite you don't know the question, and every 6, 7, 8 minutes you have to write something. And in main examination they test you everything right from Harappa to 21st century. वो सब कुछ टेस्ट कर लेते हैं. How did you practice to be spontaneous?
Sir, firstly, I just want to add one thing in answer writing, that you have to do value addition across the papers, be it Supreme Court judgments or committees or constitutional articles, and it depends on paper to paper where we have to use different committees, and that basically gives a sense of authoritative answer that you have.
Wonderful. So let me add one point what he is saying. और मैं अपने करीब करीब मुझे लगता है कि हर सेशन में और हर लेक्चर में ये जरूर कहता हूँ that this is the depth in the answer which makes any topper a topper, in this sense extraordinary, and this is what precisely Rishabh is saying, that value addition is nothing but bringing depth in your answer. Am I right?
Yes, sir. It should not be so generic that an extraordinary marks could not be awarded to you in any answer. So for some answer where we have good content or we have prepared good content, we should try to present a very good answer. And specifically if a question is asked from asked directly from the syllabus, then we are supposed to prepare good answer for it.
Rishabh, there are subjects towards which we are naturally inclined, and then there are subjects towards which we are not that much inclined. लेकिन पढ़ना तो सभी पढ़ेगा, सारे subjects पढ़ने पड़ेंगे. So जिन subjects की तरफ आप inclined नहीं थे, ठीक है, so उसकी तरफ अपनी orientation कैसे build किया?
Sir, there could be some favorites, but as I told in the beginning that I divided my preparation based on the marks it carries, and what is the value.
Like a banker, you focused on ROI, return
yes,
on investment.
We should always focus on the ROI because it is in competition at the end of the day, and we should people are preparing very sincerely. So we should try to maximize our probability of success in examination. This is why we are trying to compete as well. So that was clear that I don't have to leave any subject just because of the fact that I don't have a liking for it. If it carries marks, then I have to prepare wholeheartedly for it. So by the way, looking at the list of subject, I didn't develop the sense of dislike for any specifics. I developed the sense of liking for few subjects, but I didn't develop the sense of very dislike, or I didn't want to read this for any subject.
इसमें ऋषभ एक क्वेश्चन है मेरा. जनरली मैं जब स्टूडेंट से बात करता हूँ तो ये देखता हूँ कि डिस्पाइट डूइंग हार्ड वर्क दे लैक कॉन्फिडेंस. उन्हें लगता है कि अभी बहुत कुछ बाकी है, अभी बहुत कुछ बाकी है, अभी बहुत कुछ बाकी है. दे गिव देयर 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours समटाइम्स. पूरे प्रिपरेशन में आपको कब लगा कि नहीं ये कॉन्फिडेंस है और अब आई कैन डू इट? सो व्हाट इज़ दैट माइलस्टोन और बेंचमार्किंग जिससे एक कॉन्फिडेंस आता है एक कैंडिडेट में कि यस नाउ आई एम वेरी क्लोज टू द एग्जामिनेशन. होगा नहीं होगा किसी को नहीं पता, लेकिन ये तो पता चल जाता है कि यस आई एम वेरी वेरी क्लोज नाउ and I have achieved, you can say, something.
Sir, as far as syllabus is concerned, it is absolutely right that syllabus is huge and we have to limit our resources. और जहाँ तक to understand where do I stand, I completely objectively evaluated my preparation at all the stages.
Okay.
So in prelims, I maintained the logs of the paper which I was giving. That in this paper I started, for example, in January, if I did a full length test, I was scoring around 38-40 marks in that paper. And I maintained the score that I maintained the fact that how many correct marks, how many correct answers I've got, how many.
In the January, you was scoring 38-40.
38-40 marks.
अच्छा, इम्पोर्टेंट है. बहुत लोगों के जिनके मार्क्स मॉक में नहीं आते उनका कॉन्फिडेंस सैटर कर जाता है कि मेरा तो मार्क्स ही नहीं आ रहा. जस्ट लिसन, जब मॉक स्टार्ट किए उन्होंने तो 38-40 मार्क्स आ रहे थे.
So sir, that is natural because of the fact that we are not accustomed to solving questions in that way. But I maintained this log that where I was making negative marks and on which subject comparatively I have.
और जब आप पीटी के लॉग शीट बनाते थे तो उसमें कौन-कौन से पैरामीटर्स आप कैप्चर करते थे so that it gives you a road map?
So first the test which the name of the test, the correct answers, number of correct answers, number of wrong answers, the strike rate, how many correct by incorrect marks or correct by total marks, and then I had the section of remarks where I used to mention that why if I made so mistake, why it happened and which subject it happened. I used to go in detail that in which subject I made a mistake, and based on this logs, I maintained this log for all the tests which I did.
Fine. So उससे ये पता चल गया कि in which area you are quite comfortable और gaps कहाँ हैं?
Sir, I could objectively evaluate that my preparation is going in the right direction because as I said कि in beginning I was scoring around 35-40 marks and before 1 month of prelim I was comfortably scoring 90 plus marks, 80 to 90 marks in all the mock test which I was giving. So I had that sense of that I'm in the right direction. Whether I'm going to clear the exam or not, I'm no idea. But I had the sense that I'm making progress in the right direction.
Wonderful. So very important point, my dear friends, जो ऋषभ कह रहे हैं और वो कि आपको एक सेंस ऑफ प्रोग्रेस होनी चाहिए और ये सिर्फ सेंस नहीं है, ऑब्जेक्टिवली आपको इवेलुएट करना पड़ेगा, मेजर करना पड़ेगा एंड इट शुड बी क्वाइट विजिबल कि आपका प्रोग्रेस हो रहा है वट एवर एरिया यू आर वर्किंग. एम आई राइट?
Sir, one more important point that he stated was he focused upon conversion, not just attempts. जबकि सोशल मीडिया में टेलीग्राम हो, यूट्यूब हो, the noise right now is 90 to attempt करना ही है, 95 to attempt करना ही है. So how did you filter yourself? Because ये जो बात आपने बताई है ना, that is very rare कि conversion पे focus करो, ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ attempt करते रहो.
Sir, it comes with practice because I identified that if paper is, there could be two possibilities. If paper is easy, then if you are scoring less marks, you are at competitive disadvantage.
Right.
Because people who are making guesswork could score more marks there.
Right.
And if paper is very difficult and if you are making guesswork, then you are at disadvantage because you are going to be heavily penalized in the negative marking. So I had that sense of flexibility that if paper is going to be difficult, then I used to attempt less. If paper is going to be, if I feel the paper is going to be easy, I had that flexibility. I didn't have that rigid number, but I still believe that people who attempt a good number of questions in the exam have a comparative advantage because, in my understanding, UPSC rewards people who are more who are more confident. Right. So I would say that. So based on how you objectively evaluate your preparation, you develop this sense that how much questions I should be attempt and focus on conversion rightly highlighted. So I primarily focused on the topics where I was making mistakes, be it in ancient and medieval history, art and culture, or some aspects of geography or environment. So I primarily focus when I was revising again. I had that clarity that these are my weak sections and these are the sections where I am repeatedly making mistakes. So I focused that while I was revising, I should revisit those subjects in detail and without compromising the fact that what are my strong areas, I should not let them go off. So I should be revising them as well. but I should be more emphasizing on my weak sections without letting go of my comparative advantage in strong sections.
Right. And your cycle of reading, testing, analyzing, how was it?
So, sir, I divided my day before prelims. I divided my day in two parts. One was targeted for giving a test and then analyzing the test, and one was revising the paper. So one was revising the static resources which I had decided. So 2 hours would be taken in appearing for in giving the test in actual exam conditions, that I made sure, because I didn't want it to have that sense of false confidence where I wanted to have that objective clarity that this is where I stand.
Correct.
So in exam conditions, without distraction, everything off, and even I didn't even switching off the fan when I felt that because in actual exam condition in May you have to appear for the
Right.
so there is difference in the climate between indoors and outdoors. You have to make sure that that does not take toll on your performance. You have to prepare for that as well. So I made sure this little things are taken care of, and based on that I developed this sense that this is how I'm going to improve my marks.
और ऋषभ, जो आपने लॉग शीट वाली बात बताई और इम्प्रूवमेंट वाली बात बताई, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. जनरली बहुत सारे सेलेक्टेड कैंडिडेट स्किप कर जाते हैं इस क्वेश्चन को. इन द सेंस, इफ़ यू कुड टेल द फ्यूचर एस्पिरेंट्स कि हाउ टू प्रैक्टिस. हम सभी लोग टेस्ट सीरीज ज्वाइन करते हैं, बट एवरीवन इज़ नॉट डीपली मोटिवेटेड टू कंटिन्यू एंड फिनिश इट. फाइन. तो वो टेस्ट कैसे लेना चाहिए, टेस्ट सीरीज़ को आप कैसे कंडक्ट करें, उससे मैक्सिमम कैसे लें, कैसे प्रैक्टिस करें, सो में दैट इट रियली ब्रिंग्स वैल्यू टू योर प्रिपरेशन.
Sir, it would vary for all the 3 stages of the examination. In prelims, there is an objective clarity which we could have based on the number of questions which we are correcting or the number of marks which we are getting. And if we make logs or if we write where are the areas where I made mistake, we can objectively understand our strength and weakness, and where do we stand in attempting the paper, what is the level of our preparation currently is. In mains also I have made the logs of paper which I have attempted and how much marks I was scoring there. And but in mains it is comparatively difficult because there is lack of objectivity compared to prelims because it is unchecked. So there you have to develop a sense of critical analysis of your own answers, that you are evaluating your answers yourself and you are being absolutely honest to yourself. There should be a sense of emotional detachment with your copy, that if I am evaluating my copy, I have to be absolutely honest with myself, that it does not matter what are the marks which I was awarded in the answer. If it is a good answer, I would always have that sense of feeling that I have to improve what I have already written. There should not be a sense of closure that it is the best which I could do, and that sense of continuous improvement should be there in mains answer. I think that was my primary focus in this 2024 attempt, that I primarily self-evaluated my copy, and it took a lot of efforts and a lot of time. It took more than 5 hours to evaluate my copy. For that, I reduced the number of mock tests this time around. Last year, I attempted more than 60 mock tests between prelims and mains, and this time I attempted around 20 only. But I've extensively focused on self-evaluating my answer copy, and it took a lot of time and effort. But I think it helped me comparatively better to place me in a better position to objectively evaluate my answers and improve them.
Wonderful. My dear friends, if I could summarize what he is trying to say for the test series, or for that matter anything, continuity is must. कई बार आप लोगों के मार्क्स नहीं आते हैं तो आपकी कॉन्फिडेंस सेटल कर जाती है, आपको लगता है प्रिपरेशन नहीं है. बट हियर इज विथ यू ऋषभ, रैंक 28, और ये इनके पीटी में मार्क्स 32 थे. जब इन्होंने अपनी टेस्ट सीरीज की प्रैक्टिस जनवरी में स्टार्ट किए तो ये खुद कह रहे हैं कि वो 35-40 के आसपास मार्क्स आते थे. बट द इशू इज बेसिकली हाउ डू यू मेंटेन द कंटिन्यूटी, हाउ डू यू असेस एवरीथिंग, what efforts you take to improve it, that is very important. So if you are progressing, everything is possible. Viraj.
Rishabh, when it comes to going through content, ठीक है, मतलब you must have been very focused with respect to what you read. So what was the determining factor कि मैं book A पढ़ूंगा, book B नहीं पढ़ूंगा?
Sir, I've referred very limited books in my preparation. I primarily focused on solving PYQs and understanding what is the demand, what are the type of questions asked. So I might not have referred a lot of books and had to have make this qualitative choice between source A and source B, because I have at many instances because of the fact that I had lived constraint of time. I focused on topper notes, so Trivedi Sir's notes for PSI were extremely helpful, because they were topic wise and they were concise, and he made a lot of efforts which I thought that I could build upon by taking his notes and then developing my content on top of his notes, which I tried to do so. So that helped me in minimizing my source for the exam preparation.
One specific question from PSIR. Comparative politics is considered to be the most dry part of the subject, or most of the aspirants now they face trouble in that part. So what is your recommendation to deal with comparative politics?
Sir, comparative politics, I focused on PYQs, understanding what are the topics, and I developed content for the PYQs, be it using Google search for the model answers, or using artificial intelligence tools like ChatGPT to. It is not an answer which should be written in the examination, but it gives you a sense of clarity that what is the meaning of the topic, and give you basic pointers which you could leverage in writing the answer. So I tried to make short notes out of it, that what are the PYQs and what is the content which could help me in addressing the demand of that PYQ. And what I figured out is that many questions were repetitive in nature. For example, if question is asked on limitations of comparative politics or political economy, political sociology as well. So questions are repetitive in a way, behavioralism. So what I figured out, the questions are repetitive, and once I developed this sense of content for PYQs, I could leverage that to write answers for different topics as well. And I didn't expected myself to be very proficient in political science, but I had this idea that in case even question is repeated, I should be in a position to write an excellent answer on it. And if a question which is not in my comfort zone, then I should try to write an average answer or above average answer on it, so without leaving. So I focused on the areas where I could score good marks, and I focused that if in case any question is asked, which is because political science is not, I had a background or I have read a lot of about. So I developed that if there is a question which is asked which is out of my understanding or I have not prepared for, I would try to write an average answer, at least an average answer based on the content which I have, or generate points based on whatever the content or topic wise notes I've developed. And I've read Utkarsh Sir's notes, which are so extensive, and he covered almost all the topics, and I've developed notes on top of that.
Right. Rishabh, one more thing. As you said that you did use internet, you did use ChatGPT. So what is the boundary? कि यहाँ पे मुझे रुकना है, because then it becomes unlimited. मतलब कंटेंट इज अनलिमिटेड, तो आप वो बाउंड्री कहाँ ड्रॉ करते थे कि बस यहीं तक मुझे रुकना है इन यूज ऑफ इंटरनेट और चैट जीपीटी?
So sir, it was very directed. So ChatGPT, I would say it was like a companion in study. So if I was solving, it was not primarily the role it played, internet and ChatGPT, was to address the demand of UPSC. And I understood the demand from the PYQs. So, or for example, in newspaper. So if I was reading an article in the newspaper, my primary focus was to go in depth. So I would search on the internet that what are the things which are associated with this topic in the static syllabus of the exam, or which could be asked in the main examination. So I think there was a question on Ukraine border in 2023. So you can only answer that once you once you do a basic search of where is Ukraine, what are the states, what are the countries which borders Ukraine, and what are the rivers which could be passing through Ukraine, what are the seas which are touching Ukraine. So when you do this sort of analysis on your own, you develop a knack, and it comes by repeatedly solving PYQs, because you understand that what is going to be asked if there is a news article, and what is going to be the questions which could be framed from that perspective. And similarly, in the PYQs for mains as well, in political science as well, we develop a sense of knack that this kind of questions could be framed, and so that helped me in improving my preparation and developing content to some extent as well, which I collated at one place.
And PSR again, it requires a lot of intake from current affairs. ठीक है, तो आपने उसके साथ डील कैसे किया?
Sir, one source was that I used to regularly read two newspaper daily. It varied. For example, if there is an exam by prelims, I used to reduce one. But I can recall that I've read newspaper one day before the prelims as well, just because of the fact that I had to read it. That was a sense of it was something which I liked doing, and it was also part of my routine. So that developed a sense of understanding of what is going on. So when any questions from current affairs is asked, you have a context and background. If you have done your research doing that. Also, I've prepared notes. So for PSIR, I believe that if there is a current event, I would look at the static part of the syllabus where it should be placed, and I would add notes on top of the already made notes. So, for example, if one question is going to be asked on India-US relations, so I had a set of notes for India-US relations. What I'm going to do is that do value addition on top of the already existing notes. So, for example, if 3 new initiatives were brought during the visit of Honorable Prime Minister to the US, then I would add them in the relevant section. That in cooperation, in military cooperation, we have this 3 new initiative: Asia Compact and Trust. So. I would add them, because when we have to write an answer, when a question is going to be asked, it is not going to be directed specific. Sometimes it could so happen, but I would have that broad sense of understanding that these are the areas of cooperation: meeting military, meeting technology, people-to-people relation, environment, or economy. These are the areas of cooperations which are there between India and US. So it was an harmonious combination or synchronization of current affairs with the static part of the syllabus.
Right. Okay. Rishabh, just one more thing with respect to PSIR. Your background is of computer science and you have taken up PSIR. So first to you, why PSIR, and then sir to you, कि जो नए aspirants हैं, what they should consider before picking up an optional, sir. So first you, why PSIR?
Thank you, sir. So it was a natural inclination because I was aspiring for a role in foreign service, and when I looked for PSIR, I was fascinated by the subject. It is very interesting to read things like that. So natural inclination was for the PSIR, and I felt that I have to read it, or this is something which I want to do for the rest of my life, my career. I should be doing PSIR as my optional. So that was the reason. And I liked the subject, despite the fact that I felt initially that it is going to be a big challenge to write answers in the way toppers are writing answers. But I thought that maybe in time I would try to figure it out.
So, विराज, अगर किसी को ऑप्शनल लेना हो तो उसके लिए ओबियसली सबसे पहले वो यही देखता है कि स्टूडेंट के उसमें सब्जेक्ट में मार्क्स आ रहे हैं कि नहीं. इट्स रेडली अवेलेबल, रिसोर्सेज रेडली अवेलेबल, मोस्ट ऑफ द थिंग्स अवेलेबल. सो स्टूडेंट्स लेफ्ट विथ वन एंड ओनली वन टास्क, दैट he has to go through all the resources available and just come to the point or reach to the point where he or she is convinced that he or she can do it. हमसे हो जाएगा, हम ये सब्जेक्ट कर लेंगे, तब तो ये पॉसिबल है. वो कॉन्फिडेंस बहुत ज़रूरी है. और फिर वो ग्रेजुअली जब आप एफर्ट मारते चलते हो तो थोड़ा थोड़ा डेवलप होते चलता है. और ये सब तो इसका सबसे बड़ा एग्जाम्पल है इसके साथ.
So looking at the results, now will you agree that PSIR is the best option?
See, you cannot say PSIR है, सोशोलॉजी है, एंथ्रोपोलॉजी है, हिस्ट्री है, और आप ये देखते हो कि किसी साल एक सब्जेक्ट अच्छा करता है, दूसरे साल किसी और सब्जेक्ट अच्छा करता है. सो यू कैनॉट से इन यूपीएससी कि दैट दिस इज द रूल फॉर यूपीएससी. यूपीएससी नेवर वर्क्स लाइक दिस, सो आई कैनॉट से लाइक दिस.
सर, कमिंग टू essay, thought provoking topics over the period of times आ रहा है. जैसे हमारे टाइम पे भी न्यू IR पे एक ऐसे होगा, सोसाइटी पे एक होगा, एनवायरनमेंट पे एक होगा. सो फर्स्ट टू यू सर एंड देन टू ऋषभ, what should be the attitude of students now towards essay, and then the same question to you.
See, ऐसे में ना ये जो जार्गन्स है ना, और जो ये अननेसेसरी का नॉइज है, आप पेस्टल अप्रोच लिखो और पिस्टल अप्रोच लिखो और पता नहीं क्या क्या अप्रोच लिखो. दिस इज सिंपली किलिंग स्टूडेंट्स चांस. Essay is all about two things, and simply two things. Number one, whatever you write, it has to be relevant. Fine. And number two, whatever you write, it has to be very well organized. So in nutshell, essay is all about two things: content and crafting. इसको जितना हम सिंपल बना सकते हैं उतना ही अच्छा है. बेकार के टर्मिनोलॉजी में XYZ में नहीं फंसना चाहिए. It's more about thinking. It's more about critical thinking. It's more about the way you organize your thought process. See, critical thinking simply means you can say you are able to reach to the point which is not, you can say, readily visible. So you think and you reach to the point, and then you probe and you come to the conclusion that yes, this is what it has to be, or it should be, or it is.
ऋषभ, आपने ऐसे को कैसे डील किया?
Sir, in my 2023 attempt, I had scored 96 marks, which are comparative
Okay.
level. So this
Yes.
time around, when I was trying to prepare for the mains, I had that sense of clarity that I don't want to leave this essay to feet. I
Right.
had to prepare for the essay. I had to prepare wholeheartedly to score. So I made a lot of efforts in essay preparation. As Sir was saying that you need content, and that this pastel approach do not work in essay.
Right.
So absolutely agree with that. When there is a prompt or a topic given which is of philosophical nature, so first thing which came to my mind that it is absolutely essential to decode the topic to understand what is the meaning of the topic, what
Right.
we are supposed to write. So for that I've gone through almost all the essay topics of PYQs to understand their meaning, as well as ethics questions, because there are quotes based
Right.
question in ethics as well. So I think that one question in 2024 was repeated from the PYQs of ethics, and I knew the meaning. Because of that, I was absolutely sure that this is the meaning of this topic. So that sense helped understanding how to understand the meaning of the essay topic is essential, and for that I did practice. As far as preparation of essay is concerned, I understood that in philosophical essay we have to write arguments. We cannot just write economic dimension or write different dimension and address the demand of the topic. So to develop arguments, I thought to I basically prompted the old essay topics to various AI tools such as GPT and sometimes Perplexity to understand what are the arguments which it is presenting to me, and how I can basically with practice I understood that this is the meaning and this is how I'm going to justify this meaning of the essay. And as far as the content is concerned, I have developed this content which is going to be which could be potentially used across a range of philosophical topics, be it life stories of various leaders from different areas like politics, sports, culture, leadership, and things like that. So stories which are very popular stories of Mahatma Gandhi,
Right.
Nelson Mandela, Albert Einstein, Madame Curie, and things like that. So these stories helped me in substantiating the arguments which I was making. Secondly, I also developed. I understood that there should be sense of continuity in the essays. For that, I've read various connective words which I tried to inculcate through practice in my essay, and the various idiomatic expressions and embellishment words. I thought that it is going to give a sense of qualitative value to my essay. So I tried to inculcate them in my essay as well. So this is how I tried to approach the essay paper, sir.
उसमें विराज, मैं जितने भी एस्पिरेंट हैं उसको ये कहना चाहूँगा कि इन द प्रैक्टिस यू विल हैव टू कीप योरसेल्फ ओपन. So you cannot say that the pastel approach or XYZ or this is the only way to do it, because you don't know what kind of topic they are going to ask. So while practicing, you keep yourself open, practice it, explore it, and then allow yourself to evolve. Allow yourself to evolve. The moment you restrict yourself in the mains preparation, you don't know what kind of question they are going to ask. क्योंकि बहुत abstract topic भी वो पूछ रहे हैं, तो आपको practice में तो थोड़ा सा evolve करने दो. Yes, before the examination, you can settle down कि हाँ हम इसी तरह से लिखेंगे, क्योंकि उस समय तक आप एक conclusion पे पहुंच जाते हो. What is your strength, what is your weaknesses, etc. But overall आप practice करो और अपने आप को थोड़ा evolve करने दो उसमें.
So also, how did Manoj sir influence your study in essay, and how was he as a mentor?
Sir, I had a brief interaction with Manoj sir in essay preparation. Sir, I've watched some lectures on GS Score portal, so where sir has outlined the strategy for preparing for essay, and that helped me into preparing and plan for essay preparation. So the fact sir mentioning that we don't have to use pastel approach, we have to develop arguments, and we have to develop content for essay, and which could be used. So I understood that from sir, and I tried to use that in my preparation.
Okay. Sir, GS paper 4 की थोड़ी सी बात कर लेते हैं. What you have been saying since last 1 or 2 years is ethics now is ethics in action. First and foremost, what does it mean? और स्टूडेंट खुद को प्रिपेयर कैसे करे उसके?
You also scored good this time. It's 120 marks हैं. See, अगर आप पूरे ethics के पेपर को देखो, तो अब जो पेपर है last 2 years में, I always say this is applied ethics. It's not about the kind of basic concept they were asking. Though the concepts is important, कि वो concept नहीं रहेगा तो आप applied ethics क्या करोगे? Applied ethics simply means everything in action. The principle that you read in action, how do you test, how do you see, how do you see that it operates or it works on ground, whether in institution, politics, society, whatever it is, चाहे वो corruption हो, probity हो, जो भी चीज़ हो. तो जब वो applied होता है, then spontaneity becomes a challenge, क्योंकि आपको बहुत quickly application आपको track करना है, how it operates, how it works, etc. What do you say?
Sir, my ethics is, sir, when I first I first gave the mock test for ethics. I could not finish more than 10 questions of section 1. I started with case studies. So I had the clarity that I want to finish the paper on time. I would develop content initially. That clarity would help me to basically bifurcate the whole paper. So for example, in 1 hour and 30 minutes, I have to complete case studies in or one little bit less than that, and then equally proportionate time I have to give to case studies. So I've divided that. I have to tackle each question in the time which it requires. So for example, case study, I should be able to complete in 15 minutes. And so first my focus was that I should be in a position to complete the paper. And once I was in a position, by at least appearing for 3 or 4 tests, I developed content for it. And I prepared content for everything. Even for case studies, I prepared fodder content, which helped me to present my answer better, as well as, so I had that content which helped me to write better answers. Then I would have been able to write if I had to think on the spot, and reduce the time which requires to write a good answer as well. And as you rightly said, in paper 1 section A, the questions are not really straightforward. Questions are so long that it takes a time to decode what is the meaning of the question, to read and understand the meaning. So I understood the challenge that I have to focus more time on reading and understanding the demand and less time on writing the answer. Maybe rather than completely filling the copy, I can leave a little bit space in the, but I should be able to understand what is actually being asked in the question. So understanding that, and whatever content I prepared based on the topic wise notes for the section 1, I try to use that and write an answer for that topic, sir.
Thank you, Rishabh. So let me summarize now. And out of this the entire discussion, I will say that 3 takeaways. Number 1, this examination is more about the human spirit rather than simply the knowledge and the content procurement. तुम चाहे जितना भी content procurement कर लो, वो एक spirit है, skill set है जो तुम्हें qualify कराती है. Number 2, be economical in the sense less is more. ये habit है, ये idea है, ये again skill set है कि आप minimum से कैसे maximum निकाल सकते हो, उसी से consistency, discipline, outcome आती है. And number 3, the most important thing, what he said, is the log sheet that you maintain in the entire preparation. और आपके सामने ऋषभ हैं जिनकी प्रैक्टिसेस को आप देखें तो बहुत ही लो स्कोरिंग से 28 रैंक, तो आपकी पूरी प्रोग्रेस की आपको मैपिंग करनी पड़ेगी कि अब कहाँ पे हैं, नेक्स्ट क्या करना है. And in the entire thing, you need to be very, very specific so that you can reduce wastage of effort, time, energy, resources, etc. And this is the insight that you can take from the person like Rishabh. Thank you, Rishabh. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you for spending time. Thank you.